Yo, yo, yo! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Geaux Stros, and that's what we're gonna do today is go. Go, 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 Stros. If they don't go, then I am gonna get up and go myself. Maybe I'm just gonna have to go down to Hiroshima Airport, fly myself to Tokyo or Hong Kong, get on another flight, fly over to Los Angeles or Seattle, and then fly over to Dallas or Houston, and then drive down to, well, actually I need to go to Dallas because that's where they're close to playing, and I'm going to have to drive down to Arlington, go to the stadium, find Espada and say just what the Smurf is going on. Now, here's the thing, guys. I just realized that I forgot that the game today is on Apple TV. So what I have to do is go back over there and log in there. I logged in on the MLB network and I forgot. I totally forgot that I needed to change that. So let me go over to the Apple site. I'm going to have to make a few changes on my live stream here, but it's okay. I think we've got time. Of course, Apple says, oh, you haven't logged in a while. We locked your account. Of course, because, it's Apple. Apple always, this is why I don't use Apple products, because even their website is garbage. Because I don't use it for a few months and then they're going to lock me out. Come on, really? I think we should be able to opt out of rules like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's for security purposes. It's to protect your account. Give me the option to opt out of protecting my account. That's what I want. That's the level of freedom I want. To unlock your account, please enter your password. But that's what I entered when I tried to sign in. And now it's asking me to sign in again. This is the third time. Are you kidding me? Now it's asking me my security questions. Oh my gosh. Oh, goodness gracious. Man. It asked me, do you want to get a security code sent to you? Do you want to get a security code sent to you, to your email, or do you want to answer your security questions? And I said, just send me a security code. So it sends me a security code. I click on that, and then it says, now enter your password to verify who you are. And I do that again, and it says, okay, now we know who you are. But so log in again. I'm like, okay, I log in again. And then it says, now answers your security code questions. It's like, really? What a piece of garbage. I really can't stand Apple and stuff like Apple because of this reason. They deliberately make life difficult. And now it's asking me for more information. It's trying to get more personal information from me, like my phone number. Of course it is. And it wants to send me a text message to verify. I apologize for the delay, guys. I hope I can get in before the first pitch. Trying my best. Trying my best here. Apple giving me a headache as usual. I don't use any Apple stuff, and this is why. This is why. Okay, confirm Apple TV. Yes, please confirm. Verification. I must enter my account password again. Oh my goodness gracious me. My goodness gracious me. Huh? No, I think that's incorrect information. I got to re-enter it again. It's asking me for the same verification again that I just gave. It's just asking me for the same information over and over and over and over and over and over and over. How many times do I have to verify and re-verify? It's a little warm in here. I think I'm going to have to take my hat off. Okay, it says I'm confirmed. So let's see. It says my plan is active. So let's go and check out. All right. Astros, Rangers. Yes, please. And it says, sorry, no matches were found. Of course, no matches were found. Apple TV. Yes, please. Search. Stream in now. Yes, please. Come on. Apple TV. Astros, Rangers. Astros at Rangers. Yes. Top of the first. I'm missing it, guys. It's asking me to sign in again. Are you kidding me? This is like the 4th time. What in the world? I hate you, Apple. It's going to send me another code to my phone. I kid you not. This is the dumbest stuff ever. Sending me another code. This is the 2nd code that they've sent me. Okay. Yes, I want to trust this browser. I am using it, so I do trust it. Back off me, Apple. Back up off me. Get off my grill. Yes, yes. Yes, watch live. Yes, please. Watch live. Why is Apple TV so terrible? Okay, finally. Now, why is the volume in the top right of the screen? Okay, guys, finally I've got it up here. Okay? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Okay. Finally, check it out. I managed to get it going. Somehow I managed to figure it out before the game had its first pitch. Oh, God. God help me. Apple, God help me. First pitch to Jeremy Pena is coming in just a moment. Here it is. 96 miles an hour from Evaldi in there for strike 1. All right. Man, close that, close that. There we go, strike 1. This is fouled off. I'm going to try to move my screen around. I need to... I can't see any of the stats on this screen. Yeah, on this screen, where are the stats? No balls and 2 strikes to Jeremy Pena. He fouled that one off. Here's the next pitch. Low and away, ball 1. The count is 1-2. I've got some previews that I can show you guys, some replays and highlights, but I need to get my screen adjusted first. Bounced a little foul over to the left side. I'm going to have to do split screen here because Apple's layout is really messed up. They don't have any information on the screen for this game. Next pitch to Jeremy Pena's on the way. A swing and a miss, and that's low and away for strike 3. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, now I have my preview screen set up correctly. First pitch to Altuve. Little low and outside on that corner. Barely out of there. Call a ball. Ball 1. 1 away. Pena went down on strikes. Now I think we're kind of set up. I can't stand Apple TV, but, you know, that's the way it is. Here comes the next pitch to Altuve. It's hit pretty hard out into center field, but way up high. It's going to be caught by Evan Carter. 2 away. Second pitch fly out for Altuve. 2 down. And that brings up Isaac Paredes. Now I want to try to pull up my live stream so I can see what you guys are saying and I can respond to you. The Apple nonsense got me distracted. First pitch to Paredes is coming up in just a moment. Here it comes. That'll be a strike right in there. Man, Apple TV is really such garbage. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Eovaldi. Too far inside, 1-1. All right, there's my live stream. Happy Friday, Daniel Berry Sports. Happy Saturday to you. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 86 mile per hour pitch there. There's almost no information about the game on the screen. 10 pitches for Eovaldi now. They don't have the batting lineup. They don't have who's coming up next. They don't have any of that. They don't even have information about the pitches, so it's very bare bones on Apple TV. Low and outside. Ball 2. 2-2. 2 balls. 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes. Here comes the 2-2. Low and outside. Full count. Good at bat so far for Paredes. I need to reload my live screen because I'm not seeing the live chat. Where's the live chat? Why is this screen so messed up? Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. There we go. 2 out base runner. Woohoo! Good at bat by Paredes, making Eovaldi work a lot more than he wants to in the first inning. It would be really nice for the Astros to do something, wouldn't it? It'd be really nice for them to do something in the first inning. That brings up Christian Walker, who hits the first pitch foul for strike 1. Paredes on first. 0-1 is the count to Walker. Here comes the next toss from Eovaldi. Outside. The count is even, 1-1. Astros are averaging 4 runs a game. That's not great, but it's better than it used to be. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike now. That was way outside. Missing wide. My hot water is ready for some coffee, but I have to go grab it. I'm going to have to wait until this inning is over, at least at the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Low and outside again. 3 balls, 1 strike to Walker. It'd be nice for him to walk him again. 2 walks, back-to-back walks in the first. Get a runner in scoring position, maybe even get a run out of it. That'd be a nice way to start the game against this guy. This is a tough pitcher. Here's the pitch. Not like that, though. 96 mile per hour, up and out. That's a full count. Another full count. Second one in a row. Let's see if he loses his control here and puts Walker on. Will he walk Walker? Let's see. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the right side and through the hole. Paredes was on the move. He's probably going to go to third. No, he's not fast enough. They cut it off. Or rather, they stop him. They cut him off from going to third. I thought for sure that he'd be able to get to third since he was running with 2 outs and a full count. He was already running. But he's not fast enough to get over there. I guess it was just hit too hard. But Walker has a hit in the first inning, guys. We have runners on first and second with 2 outs. "19 pitches. Here comes the 20th to Caratini, the Batman. He takes that first pitch in there, 89 miles an hour. Strike 1. It seems that Caratini is actually catching today. 0-1 is the count with 2 outs, 2 runners on. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the first base side, a little tapper. The first baseman gets it, no problem, and that's going to end the inning. So the Astros threaten a little bit, but do what they usually do and score absolutely nothing in the first inning. So that's going to do it. Let me go ahead and reset these stats on the screen. We go into the bottom of the first. Astros with 1 hit, no runs. Tied up 0-0 in Arlington. Will Bite, welcome back. It's good to see you. You say that you hate Apple too. Don't have an account, but when I watch replays after the games, their announcers make me fine with that. Yeah, that's the thing. I think their announcers are a little generic. The stats that they have on the screen are almost nothing. It's that minimalist Apple style that nobody should like. You said nice to see Walker get a hit. Yeah, it's just sad they couldn't turn anything into it. Let me go grab my hot water and I'll be right back. Go Stros. Okay, I'm back. Let me check the live stream here right quick, and I don't see how many people are in here. It says I've got 10 people watching. Thank you for being here. How many likes on the live stream right now? 4. I'd appreciate that going way up. I am now at 340 subscribers. Thank you so much for those subs. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the likes and the subs and the comments. Okay, guys, we are in the bottom of the first. Lance McCullers is on the mound. Here comes the pitch. That's a strike. 91 on the inside. Oh and 1 is the count. Here come, nope. And we got a pitch calm problem, looks like. The crowd is booing. Be quiet. The umpire comes out with Caratini to give a little chat with, or have a little chat with McCullers. Why would you boo that? You know, sometimes this is what makes me really just wonder about some fans, you know. What's the point in booing something like that? My pitch calm. On the second pitch of the game, do you really think he's trying to delay on the second pitch of the game? Second pitch is just a little outside for ball one. That was not a bad looking pitch. Looked like kind of a slider. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's hit straight to... who's at second? Is that Altuve? Well, it's an out. Either way. I couldn't see it on the screen. Who's playing second? If it's Rogers or Dubon or Altuve. Let me see if I can pull up the game stats on ESPN. I'll tell you who's playing that position. Man, this video player is so annoying. Every time I click over on something else, it comes up with the pause button on the screen for a really long time. Here's the next pitch. That's in there for a strike. Counts 1-1. The first strike, the first pitch was a ball. I'm still trying to get some things worked out on this screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wyatt Langford. Here's the next pitch. Woo! He gets the call low and away. Langford didn't like that too much. He calls a ball. He calls a timeout on that pitch that he thought was a ball. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone. Just misses a couple inches below. Very close. The count is 2-2. This one's fouled off. Count remains 2-2. I'm trying to pour my cup of coffee, so I missed that replay. But actually, I can't do every single pitch. I'm trying to do as many as I can, guys, but I don't want any copyright strikes, by putting too many highlights on. So you have to bear with me. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Low and outside for ball 3. So we have a full count. 1 away, no runners on in the bottom of the first. Wyatt Langford at the plate facing Lance McCullers. Here comes the full count pitch. Hits that one high in the air out to center field. Myers all the way out to the warning track, and he's got it just a few feet before the wall. Slider with just a little movement. He got a hold of it pretty well, but not quite hard enough to get it out of the park. A little dangerous, though. Jock Peterson comes to the plate. First pitch to him is inside by just a couple inches. That was a nice looking pitch. Ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. Just a little outside for ball 2. I think that missed by about an inch. Two balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one's way outside, maybe a good 6 or 7 inches. I'm sorry, it's not 3-1, it's 3-0. There are no strikes. This is a 3-0 count right now. Here's the pitch. That one's hit high in the air. He went after that one. Way out of play. That is a strike. 3-1. I love Sato Tahiko coffee, but their pour-overs are terrible. They just crumple. 3-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a foul ball again. The count is now full. 3-2 pitch from McCullers to Peterson. Not Jordan Peterson. If you can't clean your room, you can't hit the ball. Here's the pitch. Just a little low and inside. Did he go? They say he did not. Really? It looked like he went around to me, but they're going to call that ball 4. We have a 1-out base runner. I'm sorry, 2-out base runner. "20 people watching. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you leave a like on the live stream if you can. If you love the Astros, you can subscribe even. That would be ultra awesome." That first pitch misses somehow on that outside edge. Ball 1. Adolis Garcia takes that one outside and in the dirt. That was clearly out of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes. That's basically about 6 balls in a row. Basically. Lots of balls suddenly thrown by McCullers. He's got 2 outs, just needs 1 out. Here's the next pitch to Garcia. That is on the outside edge for a strike. Nice paint job. 2-1. Perfect location there. Here comes the next pitch. Strike. Foul tip off the glove of Caratini. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Man, it takes forever to make coffee. Make 1 cup of coffee with this pour over. I really wish they would make their pour overs a little better. Garcia calls a little timeout and steps out of the box. McCullers takes a stroll around the mound. A little siesta. A little yasumi. A little rest. A little break. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Garcia hits this one way in the air. It looks like it's going to be playable. Walker's right underneath it at first. He's got it. Out number 3. All right, not a bad start for McCullers. Much better than his last first inning, right? Holy cow. 1 walk, no hits, no runs. That's the kind of inning I want to see from Lance McCullers. Any Astro, really, but especially for him. Really excited to see him do so much better in that inning. We go to the top of the second. This game is tied with a massive score of 0-0. The Astros come up to bat in just a moment. They will be facing Nathan Eovaldi once more. Let's take a look at the Astros lineup for today. I had to pull up the ESPN information because Apple TV doesn't give me any of that. They don't let me know who's coming up on deck, who's in the hole, what the lineup is. They don't give me any information really at all. They don't even tell me what the pitches are. I just kind of have to eyeball it and guess whether it's a slider or a curveball, a fastball, or whatever. Or a swiffer, a sweeper, a swiffer. Here is the Astros lineup for today. Jeremy Pena, of course, batting first at shortstop. Jose Altuve is at second today, so I was right when I saw him earlier. He's batting second. Isaac Paredes batting third at third base. Christian Walker batting fourth for some reason still. He's at first base, but he did have a hit today, so there's that. Victor Caratini catching, batting fifth. Yainer Diaz batting sixth in the DH spot. Jake Myers batting seventh in the center field position. Zach DeCenzo batting 8th in left field, and Cam Smith batting 9th in right field. So Myers, DeCenzo, and Smith, our outfielders, make up the bottom of the batting order. 3 guys who can run really fast. All of them are fast guys. Now if they could just continue improving their bats, hitting the ball, that would be really sweet. In this lineup right now, we have 1 Astro only batting above 300, and that's Jeremy Pena batting 311. Myers has slipped a little bit to 293. poor Altuve has dropped a lot, all the way down to 248. So a little disappointing there. I'm sad to see that he has dropped so much. Diaz comes to the plate. That first pitch just a little outside. 1-0. Next pitch on the way. Right on the outside corner. Good call by the ump. Good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. That one barely misses the same spot. 2 balls, 1 strike. This umpire is pretty spot on right now. Pretty spot on. Here comes the 2-1 toss. Swing and a miss by Yiner. Evens the count 2-2. Wow. 2 Tommy John surgeries for Eovaldi. 1 in high school. Can you believe that? Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. Count remains 2-2. 2 Tommy John surgeries. That is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Next pitch is on the way, guys. The 2-2. Woo! Just a couple inches above the zone. Another full count. The Astros are doing a pretty good job of making him work. His pitch count now is up to what? Of course, Apple TV doesn't give me that information all the time. I have to wait for it. 3-2 pitch is fouled off. Where's the pitch count, Apple? Okay, there it is, 28. This information is always on the screen, on the MLB screen, in 2 locations. On the Apple TV screen, it's only on there sometimes. Right now they got the pitch time, the pitch clock. There comes the full count pitch again. And strike 3. A half-hearted swing. Maybe that's nice. You could say it's half-ass. But it was a half-hearted swing at the very least. Diaz goes down. If you're going to swing, swing. But don't do that. Don't do that nonsense. He just kind of throws the bat. Come on, Yawner. Don't be like that. 1 away. Jake Myers comes to the plate, takes the first pitch in the top of the zone for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch from Eovaldi to Mr. Baseball. He fouls that one off. 96 miles per hour. Strike 2. Down in the count. You might be down in the count, but you're not down in my... Well, you are in my heart. You are in my heart, Jake. Jake the Rake. Jake the Snake. Not much chatting going on today. You people don't have to be shy. Feel free to chime in and add something to the live chat if you can. Here comes the next pitch. Takes that one a little low for ball 1. 1-2. "17 people watching and only 8 likes. That is a discrepancy. Please make sure you like the live stream. Help me out a little bit." Here comes the pitch. Taken for another ball. Good eye by Jake. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Make Eovaldi work. Make him work. Throw more pitches. Get tired. Make a mistake. Here's the pitch. Way outside. Excellent. Another full count. That's about 4 full counts that they put on Eovaldi now. Pretty nice. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jake Myers. 1 out. Nobody on. Here comes the rock toss. There we go. Ball 4. Jake takes it. He works that back from 0-2 to get a walk. How do you like them apples? Bet you could make a really nice pie with those. Oh man, this pour over is so terrible. It's just dumping all of the coffee grounds into my cup. So ridiculous. It's not the way it's supposed to work, but that's the way it does work. All right. So now we've got DeCenzo, Zach DeCenzo at the plate. He goes after that first pitch and fouls it just past the third baseline. 0-1. Myers on first with one out. Let's make something happen. Show us the magic, DeCenzo. Show us the magic, DeCenzo. DeCenzo. Here is the 0-1 pitch. That is not magical at all. Swing and a miss, 77. The bottom kind of fell out of it. You can see right here. Ugh. 0-2, just like Myers started off. Let's see if he can work it back and get the walk. Here comes the next pitch from Eovaldi. Now he's got a little delay. He stepped off the rubber. Now he's back on. Here comes the pitch. Right in there, strike three. DeCenzo takes it right down the middle. I don't know why he looked at the umpire. That was right in the middle of the plate. What are you doing, man? Out number 2. Look at this. It's right in the middle. DeCenzo looks at the umpire. Watch this if they show it. He takes it right in the middle of the plate, and then he looks at the umpire like, is that a strike? Oh. Seriously? You didn't know that was a strike? All right, Cam Smith comes to the plate. Let's see if he can do something or fail hard. He grounds it to third. It looks like he's going to be failing hard. Oh, bad throw. No. Okay, he's got it. I thought it was a little low. It was, but it didn't hop. Astros get another runner on with a walk, but once again leave him on. Nothing doing in the second. More goose eggs for the Astros. First 2 innings, abso-smurfly nothing. 0-0. We go to the bottom of the second. McCullers will be back on the mound in just a moment, as I'm still trying to make coffee. Really though, I know it sounds crazy, guys, but the pour over that I'm using is from my favorite coffee company. Okay, there's a Japanese coffee shop called Saru Tahiko. First time I went there was in Tokyo, and they opened a new location on top of a particular station, Harajuku. So if you ever go to Harajuku Station in Tokyo, it's a wonderful area. They have a lot of interesting things there, and there's some beautiful parks and shrines nearby. Very famous area. But above the station, they have a Saru Tahiko coffee, and they have the most wonderful paninis, coffee, and matcha lattes. Very delicious. I loved that coffee. And whenever I moved to Hiroshima, I was very sad because they didn't have a Saru Tahiko here. But then one day I realized that they started selling the pour-over, Saru Tahiko coffee pour-overs in the konbini, the convenience stores. I was very happy about that. So today, once again, I bought one. But the problem with these pour-overs is that, you know, they're like the paper pour-over basket. It's like a single-serve coffee, right? But the way the design is, as soon as you start pouring it, it only has 3 points of contact on the cup. So when you start pouring it, it sags, and then the coffee grounds start pouring into your cup. It's so ridiculous. It's the worst design I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely. Hands down, the worst. Saru Tahiko coffee, awesome. Matcha latte, awesome. Paninis, awesome. Quality, awesome. Pour over design, retarded. Literally. Whose idea was it to create this, and whose idea to continue it? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. McCullers is back on the mound. Here we go. First pitch. It's in there for a strike. 22 pitches now for McCullers. He had a pretty high pitch count, 21 in the first inning. Here comes the next pitch. Grounded off, foul down the third baseline. Strike 2. He is facing Marcus Semien. Semien not having a really great year so far. 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. Hits that high in the air. Should be a fly out. Walker is in on it. And he's got it. 1 away. They're still talking about the threats that came in on social media and other places. They're still investigating the threats that came in on McCullers and his family. And there's something that they're missing. These commentators keep missing. They're like, I understand fans are passionate. No, you don't understand. These are not fans. These are bettors. These are people betting on the games. That has nothing to do with the fans. Here's the pitch. That's right on the outside edge. For some reason, Caratini dropped it while he was trying to frame it, but it was a strike. So 0-1. Here's the pitch. And that's right up the middle there, just to the right of Altuve. He dove for it, couldn't get it. That's a single. First hit for the Rangers here in the second inning with 1 out. Josh Young on first base with this little poke right past Altuve. Runner on first, 1 out. That brings up Carter. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. Carter batting .200 for the year. Not stellar by any means. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. 1-1. The chat sure is quiet today. Pretty interesting. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. To Evan Carter. Here's the pitch. That's right in there. 83 miles an hour. Doesn't get much better than that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How about a double play ball, McCullers? That'd be great. Here comes the pitch. Wow, that one's fouled off of Caratini, who's been getting beat up by the ball the past several games. Either almost getting hit or getting hit a lot. Oh, he got hit by the backswing of the batter. That was not the ball. He got hit by the bat. The backswing. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's grounded right to McCullers. He goes to second. Oh, it goes into center field. It's not handled cleanly. It goes off the second base bag. Pena can't handle it. Now we have runners on the corners. There's got to be an error there. McCullers grabbed that one and threw it straight to second. It's hard to tell if it was just a bad throw in the dirt or Pena just misplayed it, but you can see right here McCullers did a good job of catching it. He went to second. It was just so low. Pena didn't grab it. It was a bad throw. But Pena couldn't get down there and get it. McCullers says that's my fault. I wonder who's going to get the error. That's definitely going to have to be an error. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Missed opportunity. That was a double play ball for sure, guys. That was it. That was a double play ball. Next pitch is on the way to Jake Berger. Jake Berger had a 1-run home run yesterday, and that was the only run in the entire freaking game. 1 run, and they won. With a foul ball, it is 0-1. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Runner goes to second. They don't even make an attempt at a throw. They let him take it. Not quite understanding that, but their pitch was a strike. The pitch is right in there. Infield comes in a little bit. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Let's see if we can hold them here. Come on. Go Stros. Come on. Here's the pitch. Berger takes that one way outside for ball 1. The slider just went way outside. Ah, yes. This coffee is so good. It took so long to make, but it's so delicious. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss to Jake Berger. Another one outside. The count is even, 2-2. This inning could get away from McCullers. If he's not careful right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. That's hit way up in the air, kind of infield. Should be out. Altuve's under it. He puts it away. Good. Excellent. Runners remain where they are. No movement. Good job, Berger. It's not Berger time right now, is it? Not like it was yesterday. 24 people. I've got a dozen times 2. 2 dozen people in my live stream right now. How many likes do I have? It better be more than 10. That's for sure. That's what I'm saying. 13. Yes, that's not bad. Let's keep pushing that up. Here comes the next pitch. A little low. McCullers now facing Heim. Jacob Heim. Or Jonah, I'm sorry. Jonah Heim. I was close. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. A little low and outside for ball 2. Anything going on in the chat right now? Nothing. I'm shocked. But you know, with 24 people in the chat, 24 people following the live stream, I should have about 18 or 19 likes, I think. That's what me thinks. Here's the pitch from McCullers. That's a strike on the inside lower corner. Good location on that one. Nice sinker. 2-1 is the count with 2 outs, 2 runners on. It's too much for the Rangers. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the toss from McCullers. And that one's hit hard to right field, and that's going to be down. It's going to score at least 1. Cam Smith brings it in pretty quick to second base. Two runs. Second and third move in. It's 2-0 with that single to right field by Heim. So McCullers doesn't get out of the jam. He gives up 2 runs. Jonah Heim gets that slider, that low slider, and he just puts it right out into right field. Both runners score easily. That brings up Smith. First pitch is a swing and a miss on a fastball. 0-1 is the count. Josh Smith, that is. Runner on first with 2 outs. Astros behind 2-0 right now. Come on, McCullers, shut them down, man. We need you to keep this game in control for your sake and for the team's sake. And that one was way inside for ball 1. Counts even. Jordan says, thank you, brother, for doing this. I just got in and gave you another like. Thanks so much, Jordan. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you here. I really am. 1-1. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 1-2. McCullers trying to get out of a jam, Jordan. He's given up 2 this inning, but he does have 2 outs. Runner on first. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Smith right now. feel confident that he'll be able to get out of it without giving up any more runs, but we'll see, you know. Jonah Heim at first, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's ripped down and right down into right field. Runner at first will not be able to go to third. Cam Smith is able to get it in pretty quick because it was hit pretty hard. That's another hit given up by McCullers this inning. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he will not be able to get out of this inning without giving up more runs. I'm just making all sorts of wild assumptions, huh? Oh, he'll get out of it. Home run, double, triple. They go for the cycle in one inning, you know? Yeah, what do I know? I really want to believe in McCullers. I know that he has talent, but when you've been injured and you've been out for so long, now the pitching coach is out there talking to him to figure out, hey, are you going to like be able to get through this without giving up 7 to 10 runs? Can you imagine if he went out and said that? How terrible would that be? Hey, Lance. Hey, coach. How are you feeling? I'm feeling all right, you know, just, you know, working the rust off, but I'm all right. I think I'm all right. You're not going to give up like, I don't know, 7 or 10 runs, are you? What? Can you imagine if you had a coach like that? That'd be awful. Wyatt Langford comes back to the plate. This is the second time he's faced McCullers in 2 innings. 2 runners on with 2 outs. First pitch is way outside. The Swiffer. Is that what that was? Was that a Swiffer? Or a slider? Whatever it was, it's ball 1. 24 pitches just this inning. He's up to 45. He's doing similar to what he did the other day. The first game, rather. Very first game. That's a strike in the top of the zone. 1-1. Jordan says McCuller needs to be in AAA. Why put all this stress on him? I agree with you 100%. I don't think he should be here right now. Here he comes the next pitch. Just barely outside, maybe an inch. 91 miles an hour. He really wanted that one, but you know what? It wasn't in there. If you want to strike, you got to throw it in the strike zone. You can't dance around the outside and then get upset when you miss the call. 2-1 is the count. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Langford. That's bounced to the left side. Paredes scoops it up. He goes to first. And he barely gets him with the delay. They're taking a look at it. They want to see if they want to challenge it. Paredes started to go to second, so he hesitated, but then he finally went to first. Yeah, he's out. Yep, he got it. Paredes with the awesome play. That's going to be out number 3. The Rangers are not going to challenge it, and it makes sense why they would not challenge it, because it's obvious he was out. So how many hits did he give up in that inning? That's what I want to know. Let me take a look and see if it's on the ESPN site, because I can't see it on the Apple TV site. Of course, they give me nothing. According to the ESPN site, in this inning alone, he gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, and 2 runs. His ERA right now is 10.5. It has actually improved a little bit over last game. I mean, almost anything would be an improvement over last game, right? But we go into the top of the 3rd. Astros now down 2-0 to the Rangers in Globe Life Field, Arlington. Jordan says he should be treated like a rookie needing to prove himself, not just thrown into the fire. Agree. Maybe even AA. Well, you know, whatever he needs. If they put him in AAA and he can't throw 6 or 7 innings and throw them well, then he shouldn't be here. And if he can't throw decent, like, if he can't consistently throw 5 and 6 innings of great ball in AAA, then AA maybe. I think you put him where his level is, and when he gets better, you move him up. But he obviously is not ready for being here, at least not so far. His first outing was okay, right? But he got lit up his last game, and that's not accident. That's not coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Jordan says, I would bet my money that if McCullers was like he is now, he would still shut them down. Even if his ERA was 20, he would still shut down the Yankees. Probably. They would have a mental block, right? Against McCullers. Let's see who's due up for the Astros. It's going to be Jeremy Pena at the top of the batting order. Here comes the first pitch. A little low and in the outside corner. Strike one. Pena has been really coming on recently. Not like that, though. 77-mile-per-hour curveball in the bottom part of the zone. Strike two with that swing and a miss. Hey, we moved up from 13 likes. Are we at 20 yet? Let's see. At 17, getting closer. Low and outside, ball one. The count is 1-2 to Jeremy Pena. Subscribers have gone up a little bit. I'm at 345 right now. I appreciate that. Let's get a few more likes on the video. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-2. That one goes up the middle, a little slow roller. He's going to have to hurry, and he just barely beats him out for out number one. Good play by the shortstop. Pena is put away, and that'll bring up my hero, Jose Altuve. For me, it's probably Bizio, Altuve, McCullers. All right, first pitch to Altuve is a ball. They're having a little interview with the manager of the Rangers right now, so there we go. Next pitch is on the way. Right in there, 95-mile-per-hour fastball. The count is even, 1-1. Altuve has been in such a slump. His batting average is way down. Currently at below 248. Another strike right in there, 1-2. Oh for 1 today, trying to make it 1 for 2. Here comes the delivery. Grounded down the third base side, snatched up by the third baseman. It fires over to first, no problem. Another ground out for Altuve. Man, Altuve is just not living up to his typical self, is he? I can't believe that Altuve's batting average is almost down to 240. Can you believe that? Absolutely sad. 1 away. No, I'm sorry, 2 away. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate, takes the first one way outside for ball 1. Looked like kind of a Swiffer. Here comes the next pitch. That is a ball. Another one outside. 2-0. If this goes the way that I think it's going to go, we'll get a 2-out base runner and maybe even another, but they'll strand them. It's like typical Astros. Get 1 or 2 guys on and then strand them with 2 outs. Below the zone, just barely, ball 3. 2-out walk, 2-out single, maybe another walk or single, get 1 or 2 guys on with 2 outs and then strand them. That's been like their mojo. That's right in the middle of the plate. Three balls, 1 strike. Or I meant to say that's been their MO. Why did I say mojo? Here's a pitch. Fouled off in the bottom of the zone. 3-2. Full count with 2 outs on Isak the Ball Paredes. McCullers shutting down the Yankees when all he could pitch was curves really probably hurt him so much. Yeah, he threw his arm out, right? Bat Altuve 9th. He would spark a lot of unexpected crap for the leaders until he catches fire again. That's true, but it might hurt his ego, you know. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, swing and a miss, so we don't get a base runner. If all of these just says, no, I'm not having that today. No more of that nonsense. Just get the out and go into the next inning. Go into the bottom of the 3rd. Nothing else for the Astros. What do we have here? First of all, I got to take my hat off. Man, that's another thing that I don't like about wearing a headset with a microphone. I think it's best for being able to get up and move around because I have a really long cord, and I can get up, move around, I can stretch, stretch my legs, whatever, and continue to do the game with the microphone close to my mouth, right? I don't have to be close to the mic. If it's a set mic on the desk, I don't have to keep myself close to it the whole time. But because it has the over-ear headphones, if I'm wearing a hat and it starts to get just even slightly warm in the room, my head starts to get really, really hot, and I can't wear my Astros hat. I like to wear my hat during the games. I know you guys can't see it right now, but normally I wear a hat. As far as hits are concerned in this game, the Astros have just 1 so far. Rangers have 3. 2 of those they got in the 2nd inning. I'm sorry. I think all 3 of those they got in the 2nd inning. Now we're in the bottom of the 3rd. Who's coming up for the Rangers, I wonder? I think it's going to be Peterson. Jordan Peterson is coming to bat. He's the DH. But he's a little shaky. His average is only 127. It's because his room is dirty. And he can't be a good DH until he's cleaned up his room. 127. Okay, Peterson is at the plate. McCullers is bringing the pitch. Here it is. First pitch just barely below the zone for ball 1. 1-0 against Jacques Peterson. That one clips the upper outer corner. 80-mile-per-hour breaking pitch for strike 1. He looks a little unsure about it, but it doesn't matter. The umpire says so. This is like a child. Why? Because I said so. That's why. Low and inside for ball 2. 2-1. Walker 8th, Altuve 9th. Yeah, if Walker's going to stay in the lineup, he might as well be way down there. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Oh, swing and a miss. That was a half swing, but he went around. Even is the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan says, I love Altuve. I know he's trying, but he's only human. Get all that money, living the life of luxury and leisure. Plus, on the old slow stage, yeah, he just turned 35, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Peterson goes after it and fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. Two-two pitch from McCullers on the way. Another foul at the plate. 88-mile-per-hour changeup looked like. Count remains 2-2. Here's the pitch. Another foul at the plate. He's just wanting McCullers to keep tossing that ball, right? Let's just keep that count 2-2. 55 pitches now for McCullers. And he doesn't have a single out yet here in the third inning. He's getting close to 60 pitches in this game. Here comes the 2-2 again. That one's fouled off again. Are you kidding me? That's about 8 pitches, I think, this at bat. Yeah, that's right. 8 pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 4 more foul balls. Here comes another pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? They say he did. Oh, he's not happy about that. The crowd didn't really like it so much. But once again, once the ump says so, it's like mom and dad saying you can't have ice cream. What are you going to do? You got to walk away. Jordan says we're still paying Altuve for long ago when we didn't have any money. I love it. He deserves it, but we need help to help him back into his mojo. Remember when Biggio went off the shallow end? Yeah, that's the thing. He needs a little help. Ground ball by Paredes. Not Paredes. What am I saying here? I need to quit looking at one thing and saying... I look at some information on the screen. I see Paredes' name. And I'm trying to tell you what happens in the game. And instead of telling you what happens in the game, I just read what I'm looking at on the screen. That was Garcia. Adolis Garcia grounded out to third just now, not Paredes. Marcus Semien comes to the plate, takes the first pitch for strike one. 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes the second pitch from McCullers. Just barely inside. He missed by about an inch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1. Whoa, he hit him. Straight at him. Ouch. But it sounded like it got him right on the elbow guard. I don't think it hurt him. They're going to show it again right here. Yeah, got him right on the elbow guard. He's okay. First hit by pitch. He's a lucky guy. First time he's been hit all season. Here comes the first pitch to the next batter. Young. Marcus Semien gets a huge jump and steals second. Caratini threw it from his knees, but there was no chance. It was just a big jump. So ball 1. I don't even know why he was sliding there. He was there so fast. Josh Young at the plate with the 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. That's in there. 90-mile-per-hour changeup. 1-1. Jordan, man, you are getting it done on the live chat today. People are so quiet. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from McCullers. That goes behind Caratini all the way to the screen. Semien jogs over to third, no problem. A very rare miss by Caratini, but that was low and in the dirt outside. You can see right here it just was a difficult pitch. Bounced off his glove. So Semien moves to third. And that's ball 2, 2-1. Next pitch from McCullers is on the way. Fouled off. Evens the count, 2-2. Earlier, Hassan said, "What's up, brother? What do you think the score prediction of this game will be?" I really don't know. I don't have any idea, to be honest. I forgot to answer that question earlier, but there you go. I have no idea. That's my answer. Fouled off again. Count remains 2-2. Jordan says, after yesterday, we need to win this game, but in the end, as long as we come out ahead of the Rangers, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm done for now. Well, at the very least, we need to be 2-2 in this series, but I'd prefer to win the series. That'd be much better. Move up in the rankings a little bit. That was low, ball 3. Counts full. Astros need to win the series so that they can overcome the Rangers and get closer to the Mariners. Keep it close, right? 3-2 pitch. Grounded to the shortstop. Pena, he's over to first. Out number 3, so he barely gets out of it. Semien does not score. Woo, he gets out of a little jam there. He doesn't give up the extra run, thank goodness. And we go to the top of the 4th. 2-0 Rangers over the Stros. Goodness gracious me. Now, what do we have going on in the live stream? We have 22 people listening or following along right now. How many likes do we have? Did it get to 20? It's at 23. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for getting me over 20 likes. Since we are fluctuating between, I'd say, 20 and about 25 listeners and followers on the live stream, 23 likes is acceptable. Thank you so much. I hope that we can get to 30, and we probably will as the game gets closer to the end. I believe that more and more people will come in, just like yesterday. You know, the Rangers-Astros games are a little popular. So I think we'll get to 30. I've got 344 subs. Apparently somebody dropped. I bet you I know who it is. I bet you it's Hassan. Hassan probably subbed so that he could comment and then unsubbed. That's my guess. But yeah, my goal is to get to 500 subs by the end of the month. Let's see here. Let me ask this question. What should my end of May sub goal be? I think it should be 500. That's what I think. I personally think. But I'll put that 500. Let's say 400. 450. And let's go even higher. Let's add something that's even higher. 600 plus. Let's do that. How about that? 600 plus. This isn't about the Astros. It's about my channel. I want to get you guys' opinion if you think about it. Where do you think I should be by the end of the month? First pitch is on the way to Christian Walker. That is a strike. No, it's a ball. I'm sorry. It looked like the umpire called it a strike. I need to turn my audio on. There we go. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the 4th. Here comes the pitch. Walker swings and misses. Man, that curveball. 76 miles an hour. He got around on it way too early. Walker does have a hit, an opposite field single. Let's see if he can continue his hitting today. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And he goes to the right side again, but this time scooped up by a sliding Semien at second. And he gets him out at first base. So no hit that time for Walker. 1 down in the top of the 4th. That brings up the Batman Victor Caratini. First pitch from Evaldi is on the way. Little low inside for ball 1. 57 pitches now for Evaldi. 1-0 is the count. 0 for 1 today is Caratini with a ground out. Here's the next pitch. Just a little high. Could have been a strike if the catcher had been able to make it look a little better with the movement and the framing. Caratini calls timeout, relaxes himself a bit. Even Batman has to take a break sometimes. Here comes the next pitch. Right on the outside edge, a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Take a look at this. Fastball right above the bat of Caratini. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hit opposite field. That's a base hit. That's down. Just to the right of the shortstop. Good opposite field hit by the Batman. We have ourselves a 1-out base runner again. Boom. Excellent. One out. Runner on first. Evaldi comes set. He's dealing to Yainer Diaz, who goes after it like a child. He just kind of lobs the bat out there like he doesn't know what he's doing. Strike 1. I wish I had $1 for every single time Yainer swung like that. I'd have myself at least $10 a week. It's not bad passive income. He hits this one up the middle all the way to center field to the warning track, just shy of the wall. Pretty deep. Man. Caratini goes back to first base. He didn't even seem to put a lot on that one. If he had pulled it, could have done something with it. Two outs. Caratini on first base. I think Jake Myers is up at the plate now. That's correct. Mr. Baseball himself. Let's see what he can do. Here comes the first pitch to Mr. Myers. Right on the inside corner, 76 mile per hour. Good pitch. Strike 1. 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. Caratini on first base, trying to get himself driven in. Come on, Myers, do something, man. Way outside, bounces high in the air. Caratini will easily advance to second. So we have a runner actually in scoring position at the moment. Look at this one. This one was way out there. That one bounced about 1.5 feet before the plate. And on the outside. Too difficult to be catching that. Two balls and 1 strike to Mr. Myers. Evaldi comes set. Here comes the toss. Outside, ball 3. 3-1. Good takes by Myers, but it'd be really nice if we could just get a hit here. I mean, a walk, getting extra guys on base is fine, but I really want that run. I want to bring that run in. Let's see if you can get a swing here. Nope. Whoa, that was a long delay there by the umpire on the outside edge. I thought that was going to be ball 4. If you take a look at it, it's on the outside edge. The umpire waits and waits, and Jake Myers is about to throw his bat, and he gets called for ball 4. I mean, strike 2. Full count. Full count with 2 outs. Runner on second. Grounded up to the middle. The shortstop scoops it up, fires the first. He barely gets him. Myers is fast, but he's not that fast. Out number 3. Astros strand another runner. The tradition for the Stros. Get a guy on base, maybe even in scoring position. Strand him. Strand him like a guy who finds out that his girlfriend is going to have a baby. It's just a joke, guys. I don't really mean that. I know some guys who've done that. But that's the way I feel about... The reason I said that, though, is because that's the way I feel about how the Astros are batting and the way they're providing run support for their pitchers. It's kind of like the guy who does that, right? The guy who gets the girl pregnant and then runs away, right? That's how I view the Astros bats. It's not good. It's not good at all. Let's see here. Let's take a look in the live chat. Where is my live chat? Oh, there it is. Okay. Shoot, welcome back. You said, is it too much to ask to get some runs this game? Amen. I'm so tired of not getting runs. Very tired of that. I'm tired of these low-scoring games and not getting any runs. It's so ridiculous. It's unbearable. Unbearable. Let's take a look at the last few games. Astros didn't get any yesterday. They got 4 in the last game against the Royals. Before that, they got 2. They managed to get 5 in the first game, but they lost. They did get 6 in the last game versus the Reds, but the Reds didn't get any runs, right? They got 9 versus the Reds in the game before that, but they lost. They only got 3 in game 1. They got 9 against the Brewers. The Brewers only got 1. And they got 4 and 5. No, I'm sorry, 3 and 1 in the first 2 games against the Brewers. Lost. 4 against the Sox. Lost. 8-3 won. Only 3 lost 7-3. It's so difficult to accept these results. It's difficult. It's difficult. First pitch is on the way, and it's right in there. Strike 1. Who is at the plate? They're too busy talking to the reporter, and they don't even have the information on the screen about who's at the plate. That's in there for strike 2. 0-2 is the count, whoever's batting. Evan Carter is at the plate. That's who's at the plate. Thank you, Apple. In the dirt for ball 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Freaking Apple. 1-2. I guess if I have to do an Apple game, I have to just pull up the lineup and kind of mentally mark who was up to bat last. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. McCullers gets a strikeout, but the batter says he fouled it off. Caratini rushed to the backstop to get it. He tried to say it was a foul ball, but the umpire says, no, I don't think so. So let's take a look at this from the side. Yeah, there was no foul ball there. He tried, instead of running to first, now look at this. He could have ran to first because the ball went to the backstop. He could have ran, but he said, oh, it hit my bat, it hit my bat. But it actually didn't. He's lying. Why wouldn't you just try to run to first instead of saying it hit your bat when it didn't? Why would you do that? What a weirdo. Jake Berger comes to the plate. Takes the first pitch low and inside for ball 1. 1 away. 1 ball, no strikes. Cheeseburger at the plate. And he hits this one hard to left field, and that's going to be down for a base hit. Myers cuts it off, sends it to second. Berger will go back to first. Berger continues to have a decent series against the Astros so far with the game winner yesterday and 1 hit today. 1 for 2. He's on first base with 1 out. Next batter's at the plate. Fouls that first pitch off. Jonah Heim. 0-1 is the count. Oh and 1 with 1 out. There's a Burger on first base. Here's the pitch. Heim swings and misses that one. A 92-mile-per-hour heater. Right in the middle of the plate, actually. 0-2. Why do they say that every single time there's a new player to come into a team like Jake Burger comes to the Rangers, they're always like, oh, he's one of us. He's just like all the other guys. They never say the opposite, right? It's always, oh, he came in and he immediately fit in, and all the guys love him. You know, they're getting along. I mean, look at all the camaraderie. Look at these guys love each other. Look at that. He's perfect, man. He fits in. They never say anything but that, right? The count is 1-2 to Jonah Heim. Pitch from McCullers is on the way. In the dirt. Caratini blocks that one and keeps it in front of him. Burger not a big threat for stealing or running on a pitch like that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wouldn't it be funny if they said, yeah, Burger came into the Rangers organization recently, and you know he's been doing okay at the plate, but he hasn't really fit in with the club and the clubhouse and the staff. They say, you know, we tried to reach out to him and get close to him, but he's a really private guy. He keeps to himself, and he just wants to come in and do business. They never say stuff like that. It's always, yeah, he's just like us. It's like he's been here for years, you know. Heim fouls that one off, and the count remains 2-2. McCullers with 1 out and a runner on. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Heim. High and outside for ball 3. We have ourselves a full count. 28 people watching, listening in right now. Thank you for being here. Here comes the next pitch. Ground ball to short. No, second. Altuve gets it. He has to go to first. No chance for a double play. Might have been an opportunity for a double play. It was such a hard hit ball. Altuve just couldn't handle it properly. Take another look at this. Just a bad hop on Altuve there. By the time he gets to it, he had to go to first. There was no play at second. So out number 2, but the runner goes to second. Next batter is at the plate. That would be Smith. Josh Smith. Strike 1 right in there. 0-1. Astros have somebody warming up in the pen. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is hit right up the middle, pretty deep, all the way out to the wall, and caught on the run by Myers. Just right before the wall. Pretty dangerous, but McCullers gets out of a jam, a little bit of a jam, with a runner on second. Good catch by Myers out in center field. Not nearly as impressive as his catch the other day, but still a good catch. McCullers gets out of the inning, but not before pitching how many pitches? The amount of pitches that he has thrown in this game. Let's see. Where's the information? 83 pitches in 4 innings. He has basically thrown 21 pitches per inning on average. 21. That has been a big problem with McCullers, even in the first game. Every single game he's thrown so far, his pitch count has been insanely high. Polish Ninja, welcome back. We need to get rid of McCullers. He says, like I said a week ago, I I don't think we need to get rid of McCullers. I just don't think he should be on the Astros team right now. I think he should be in the minors. Until he's solid there, he shouldn't be pitching here. That's my feeling. So, if that's what you mean by get rid of him, put him in the minors, then that's fine. I agree with it. But if you mean send him to another team, I don't know. Unless the Astros can get something out of it, then, I don't want them to take a loss to get rid of him when they could just put him in the minors. So it depends. If they can get rid of him by trading him and get something out of it, yes, I'm okay with that. But if they have to lose to get rid of him, then I would prefer that they put him in the minors and try to rehabilitate him some more. Mark says he came in and messed up the showers, knocked over trash cans, put itching powder in everyone's uniforms. That's funny. That's funny. 25 likes on the live stream, or are there more now? There are... How many? Yeah, just 25. That's good, though. 25 is not bad. Thanks, guys, for the likes. Just 5 more to get to 30. Awesome. I'm loving it. DeCenzo is at the plate. First pitch to him is on the way from Evaldi. That's a ball. 1-0. Zach DeCenzo. Second pitch is on the inside upper corner for strike one. They're having a little chit chat right now with Hunter Brown. Can you imagine if he would really say his mind? Swing and a miss, low and outside, strike two. That's a 1-2 count. Can you imagine once again Hunter Brown saying, well, when I have such a great game, I expect to win, and my hitters let me down, so they need to really pick up the slack. I'm doing my job, they need to do theirs. Why don't they just be honest? DeCenzo grounds out while we're listening to Hunter Brown talk. One away. That brings up Cam Smith. First pitch to Mr. Cam Smith will be on the way in just a moment. Hopefully Cam can get on base. We get some wheels going before the top of the batting order comes up. Woo! Up and in, strike one. That was a nice looking pitch. 0 for 1 today. Let's make it 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. Up and in again, but this time fouled away. Strike two. Here's the pitch. That's right in there, strike three. Cam Smith takes it looking, doesn't even try. Gotta swing at that, my friend. That's rookie. That's rookie garbage right there. Even I know to swing at that. If it's close, you swing. You have 2 strikes and it's close, you swing. Come on. Yeah, Mark, that would be hilarious. Yeah, Jake Berger came in, and I know that he was trying to fit in, but, messing up the showers, knocking over trash cans, putting itching powder in the jock straps. I mean, it's just a little too far. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. First pitch outside, but on the edge, strike one. 2 outs. No runners on here in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. That's hit high into right field. Adolis Garcia's underneath it, and that's out number 3. 3 up and 3 down. No problem for Evaldi and the Rangers. The Astros once again lie down and get nothing done. 2 hits for the Astros this entire game. 1 error. It's 2-0 Rangers going into the bottom of the 5th. take another look at the live chat. Got a few comments here. Polish says, yes, minor league. Astros need Trevor Bauer. Astros have a major pitching issue. Well, I don't agree with you there. I don't think that the Astros have a major pitching issue. I think they have some challenges, but when you compare the Astros pitching staff to all of the other teams, we're one of the best. So you said the Astros have a major pitching issue, but man, come on, everybody knows that the Astros' problem is not pitching. It's scoring runs. We need bats. We don't have a problem with pitching. We have a problem with batting. Mark says shaving cream in the cleats, baby oil on the floors. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, maybe they talk to the coach like not a spot up at the coach of the Rangers. They say, "What's your first impression of Berger?" Well, actually, it didn't go so well. It was kind of awkward because I was really excited to meet him. He came into the dugout, and I went to grab his hand to give him a firm handshake, and immediately my hand got shocked, and I jumped, almost fell down because he had this electric shocker on the palm of his hand, and he laughed so hard he nearly fell down. He's just not fitting in. It sounds like a parody. But you know that sometimes there are players like that, right? There are colleagues and players who come in, and that's just the way they are. They do a bunch of crazy stuff for various reasons. Maybe it's their way of trying to fit in, or maybe they're just obnoxious or whatever. But can you imagine him being that way and them actually talking about that? Tell us a little bit about Jake Berger. What is he like now that he's with the new club since you traded for him? Well, to be honest, we've been trying everything we can think of to get along with him, but you know, he's a special guy. Sean Dubin is in the game now, guys. McCullers is out, Dubin is in. Sean Dubin. Good old Sean Dubin. Next pitch. Whew, good call there. Barely clips that lower outside corner for strike one. 1-1 is the count. No, I'm sorry. 0-2. What am I thinking? Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss just like that. Dubin comes in and gets a 3-pitch strikeout. Holy cow, where have you been, Mr. Dubin? They actually brought him back up from the minors a few days ago. They flew him in because they needed him to come in and take over. And he's been pretty good since he came back. Dubin's one of those guys with a lot of potential, but they've had to keep sending him down here and there to work out some of his issues. Next batter's at the plate. That will be Peterson. Jacques Peterson. That's in there for a strike. 4 straight strikes from Dubin. Here comes the next toss. Tapper and foul. Strike 2. 5 straight strikes. How do you like that? Sean Dubin. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3, another strikeout. Look at that. Sean Dubin, man, nothing but strikes. He might strike out the side. He puts down the first 2 batters just like that. Holy cat. Dubin will now be facing a guy he throws a strike to. That will be Adolis Garcia. He throws the first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch to Garcia. Fouled off, strike 2. Dubin hasn't thrown a single ball yet. 8 strikes in a row. 2 strikeouts, and now a chance to strike out a third batter. Garcia calls timeout and backs out of the box. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Garcia manages to stay alive. Man, this has been almost 9 pitch, 3 strikeouts in a row. Almost. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. This one's hit really hard, straight up in the air. Altuve or Pena. Pena's underneath it, and he puts it away. Out number 3. So not another strikeout, but 3 up and 3 down for Sean Dubin. Dubin getting it done. Dubin getting it done. I think I'm going to have to make myself another cup of coffee. But first, let me reset the stats on screen. We're going to the top of the 6th, guys. Astros creating a challenging comeback situation for themselves in Arlington, down 2-0. KF says, what's that 14 innings without a run scored? 14 innings without a run scored. Let's see. Well, I can go back and take a look at that. Let's see. The Astros played yesterday, right? 9 innings, no runs scored. Not a single one. If we go back to the game before that, they scored, I think, in the 8th inning. Did they score in the 9th? Let me take a look at the game cast. They scored in the 8th inning. Okay, so, but they didn't play the 9th inning, so that doesn't count. So the 9 innings with the Rangers yesterday, and then how many innings today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's right. 14 innings, no runs scored. That's correct, KF. It sounds a lot worse than what it is, but it's yesterday's game and today's game. Mark says he was a funny guy. Mom played pro baseball, so. Casey Candell. All right. Let's see if I can make a second cup of coffee a little bit faster. I got to figure out a better way to make this, because these pour overs are terrible. You know what? I think I can go get a different pour over. Give me a second. I'll be right back, guys. They're still on break. Give me a second. Okay, guys, Altuve's at the plate. He takes that pitch for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Altuve. Yuck. I just realized there are a lot of coffee grounds in my cup. I got to get those out. Way inside. Almost got him. Be careful there. Evaldi, back off, man. You can't be hitting my man. Look at this. Look how close that was. Kiltskete means be careful. 2 balls, 1 strike to Altuve. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Man, that was right in there. Was that a changeup? 92-mile-per-hour changeup. Got him to go around. Kind of throw him out of rhythm there. Look at that. Yeah, he wasn't ready for that off speed. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Here's the pitch. He grounds that one to third. A scoop by the third baseman. It looks like he's going to get him again. That's 3 ground outs for Altuve today. Almost identical to the last one. Give me 1 second here. I've got to... This is disgusting. I've got coffee grounds in my coffee cup, and they just came out into my mouth when I was... Ugh. My gosh. Yuck. Yuck. Disgusting. 1 ball. No strikes. To Isaac Paredes, the first pitch. Outside for ball 1. Here comes the second pitch. Outside again, ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to Paredes. Here comes a pitch from Evaldi. That's on the outside edge for strike 1. 2-1. These coffee grounds in my mouth. Yuck. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. A little inside, ball 3. Are we going to get the token base runner to Strand? Puh. Puh. Apple TV just gave me an error suddenly. Okay. For some reason, it just gave me an error. I'm going to have to reload the page and see what's going on. If you guys can see this, I'll show it to you. It says there's an issue suddenly. Let's see if I can get this worked out. Not sure exactly what's going on here with good old Apple TV, but I'm not surprised that there's a problem. Astros. Let me search again. I am trying to restore the live feed. Did it log me out? I think it logged me out. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. But Apple TV seems to have broken. Yeah, guys, I don't know what's going on, but once again, Apple TV is acting haywire. It's not letting me load the game. Let me see if I can go to another website right quick. Yeah, I can go to other websites, no problem. But for some reason, I'm not able to load the game on Apple TV. I'm trying. It won't let me click on anything. It won't let me... It's not like letting me click on anything. Everything I click on, nothing works. Suddenly nothing is working. I can't do anything. None of the links work. I don't know what's going on right now, guys. I really don't. I can't open anything on Apple TV. I go to the main page and nothing works. So let me try to close out my browser, close out all of this, and refresh. Clear up some, maybe clear out some cache or something, and see if I can log back in. I apologize. It's an Apple TV issue. Privacy and security. Security, browsing data, cached images and files, cookies. Let's delete all of that. Signs me out of most sites. Maybe all that, whatever the data is on the Apple site, maybe it will allow me to start over. There we go, Apple TV. Let's start over. Try to sign in. Okay, signing in again. Enter my password. Sign in. Verification, of course. Once again, phone verification. As always, you can't avoid it, right? Apple verification code. Trust this browser. I thought I already did that, but I guess we'll have to do it again. Okay, let's go down here. By the way, the Mariners are leading the Padres in the first, 1-0. Now, let's go back to the live stream for the Astros. Okay, we are finally back, as you can see right there. Okay, it took a while, but I'm back finally. It took that long. I had to refresh. I had to log out of Apple, refresh everything, and delete all the cookies and all that, and log back in. Caratini hits this ball deep to center field. Carter gets it right at the track. That'll be out number 3. Milner is the new pitcher for the Rangers, apparently, but nothing doing in the top of the 6th for the Astros. We go into the bottom of the 6th. No change in score, so we didn't really miss anything there, did we? Thank you, Apple TV, for giving me even more grief, as if the Astros bats are not giving me enough. Let me double check the live chat and see if I missed anything here. Nope, not really. You said, oh, Mark says mom played pro baseball also. Gotcha. Apple TV sucks, guys. It really does. It really sucks. I'll be glad when this game is over and I can go ahead and cancel that subscription immediately, because I have no desire to continue that subscription. But I just realized I have some of these pour over coffee filter bags, these single serve bags of my own, so I can take the coffee out of the terrible Sado Tehiko bag and just pour it directly into this other bag that is much better, my own bag. And then I don't have to worry about getting coffee grounds in my coffee. Plus, it will make the coffee much, much faster. Yes, that's right. That's right. Get in there. Okay. All right. Good to go. Now I can pour myself a second cup of fresh coffee. Get in there. Yes, that's much faster. Okay, so is Dubin still on the mound for the Astros? The other day he pitched a couple of innings. He just might still be on the mound. We will find out in just a moment. Nope, he's not. Dubin is out. Steven Ort is on the mound for the Astros. First pitch is in there for a strike. He's facing Marcus Semien. 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Outside for ball one. 1-1. Makes me wonder if Apple TV is messing with my live stream. 1 ball, 1 strike to Semien. Here's the pitch. That one's hit high in the air and back, out of play. Strike 2. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Semien. Here comes the pitch from Ort. Inside. Misses with the 80-mile-per-hour toss. The count is even, 2-2. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Next pitch is on the way. Low and outside. Full count. Here's the pitch. This is hit out into left field. DeCenzo is over. He has to put on the brakes and he gets it for out number 1. Next batter's at the plate. Josh Young. Swing and a miss. Up and in. Good toss there by Ort. Next pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss. 86 miles per hour in the bottom of the zone. Another nice pitch. Caleb Ort. That next pitch is low and outside for ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Young. A little outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounded to third. Perez throws to first. Long throw, but they say it's foul, so Young doesn't even run. We're going to have another 2-2 count pitch. One away here in the bottom of the sixth. Astros down by 2 runs. Count is 2-2. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul ball. We'll have another. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Yes, you may. As long as there are foul balls, you may have another. Two and two pitch again on the way. In the dirt. Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. My live stream likes are up to what? 26. Thank you very much. And that's a swing and a miss. Good pitch by Ort. That could have been ball 4, but he went after it and he couldn't get the bat on it. Out number 2. Take a look at this if you can. Nice. Dirty pitch from Mr. Ort. 2 away. Next batter at the plate goes after the first pitch, hits it out into left field. DeCenzo is over, and he puts it away with 1 pitch. 3 up and 3 down for Mr. Caleb Ort. We go into the top of the 7th. Astros down by 2. Three more opportunities to score some runs here. Who's coming up for the Stros? Let's take a looky-see and see if we can't figure it out. I closed some of my browsers because I reset everything earlier thanks to Apple TV, causing me issues. Astros due up. Yainer Diaz, followed by Jake Myers and Zach DeCenzo. The bottom of the batting order, 6, 7, and 8. Cam Smith is after DeCenzo if he gets the opportunity. I certainly hope that he does. I hope also that Pena and Altuve, Paredes, Walker, and all of these guys have the opportunity to come to the plate and get hits. If we can get all the way back through to Diaz again in this inning, I would consider that a good inning. Would you not? If every batter gets to bat and then Diaz gets to bat a second time, I would say that's a really good inning. Big scoring inning for the Stros, the Strizos, the Houston as Astros. Mark says, that's just what I was thinking. They were just showing this movie preview on the screen, and I thought, it looks like a kind of a generic high-budget TV movie. Why is that? And then at the end it says Apple movie, Apple Plus movie, now streaming. And I thought, that's why. All right. Diaz is at the plate, takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Next pitch coming in just a moment. And here it comes. Right in there. 87 miles an hour. The count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mr. Diaz. Don't be a yawner, be a yiner, a shiner. He hits this one to the shortstop. Should be an easy play for him, and it is. Yainer Diaz, Yainer Diaz with the ground out. Who is the pitcher now for, I think it's Milner. Is he the one that's still in for the Rangers at the moment? Yeah, Milner. Hobie Milner. I don't think I have his picture saved in my folder. Let's try to save Hobie and bring him into the game. There we go. First pitch is a ball to Jake Myers. Here's the pitch. Low for ball 2. Good start for Myers with the 2-0 count. Myers hits that one out into left field. That's going to be a hit. It's down. 1-out single. Runner on with that hit from Myers. There we go. Hobie Milner. All right. That brings up Zach DeCenzo. 257 this year, but 0 for 2 in this game. First pitch taken inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Mark says one thing you should watch while you have Apple is Severance. Such a good series. I don't watch series. Strike 1 to DeCenzo. I don't watch TV at all, Mark. Not at all. Literally 0. Never watch any series. People recommend series to me all the time, but I'm like, thanks, but I don't watch them. DeCenzo hits this out to right field, all the way out to the wall. Barely caught by Garcia. Man, that was close. The Astros keep playing around with these type of hits yesterday and today. Bunch of almost hits. Just almost, right? Almost. He didn't really know where that wall was. He just kept running with his hand out. Kind of dangerous, but 2 away. And that brings up Cam Smith. That ball is way outside for ball 1. Oh, it's Will Bite is what recommended the series, not Mark. Sorry about that. Next one is low and outside for ball 2. 2-0 to Cam Smith. Runner on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Rangers have another pitcher going in the bullpen right now. 2-1 is the count to Cam Smith. Hobie Milner is on the mound for the Rangers. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Check swing, did he go? Doesn't look like he did. Ball 3. 3-1. I actually have a guy who used to be a friend of mine, but during the pandemic he went a little crazy with a bunch of nonsense. Uh-oh, hit hard to left field, all the way out to the wall, off the wall. A double, at least for Cam Smith. It's going to be Myers is going to score. The Astros finally get their butts on the board. Thank you, Cam Smith. So luckily right there, it stays in the park. If it had gone over, they would have stopped Myers at third base. But luckily, it hits the top of the fence and it doesn't go out. Look at that. We got lucky there. If it had bounced out, they would have been a ground rule double, and they probably would have stopped Myers at third base, which wouldn't have been fair. But luckily, it stays in. The Astros now have 1 run. And that's going to be it for Milner. They're taking him out. They're going to bring in another guy. Top of the batting order comes up with Pena in just a moment. We still have another runner in scoring position with our best guy so far this year overall coming to the plate. Actually, he's hitting in the high 300s with runners in scoring position. 2 outs, runner on second. We are in break right now. But Will Bite, what I was going to tell you is during the pandemic, a guy who was a friend of mine, he just he had become very quiet to me. He wasn't responding to my messages anymore, and he wasn't like he would post something on Instagram or on Facebook or something. He was very active on social media, and at one time he and I were very close. We made like 3 different short films together. We had a really close relationship, and then whenever I left the US and moved abroad, I moved to China, and then after that I moved to Japan. But by the time I moved to Japan, right after that the pandemic started, and by that time he had just not he had just stopped communicating with me. You know, I'd post a comment on his posts. You know, I'd see it. He'd post a picture or something, or he'd say something, I'm doing this or whatever, and I would respond and say, "Oh man, that's pretty cool. Looks like fun. You know, what are you doing these days?" No response. And so later on, I would message him directly, and I'd say, "Hey man, what's up? Is everything cool? What's going on with you these days?" And he would look at the message, he would see it, but he wouldn't respond. So I'm like, okay, this is not how a friend behaves. I just decided to stop messaging him. I stopped commenting on his stuff. I stopped messaging him. And literally, more than 2 years went by, and I never spoke with him at all. And then, after the pandemic starts, and then they start coming out with the vaccines, he messages me out of nowhere because he wants to make sure I'm taking the vaccine. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Pena's at the plate, low and outside for ball 1. We have a runner on second base. Cam Smith with the double. He's on second. Sean Armstrong is on the mound for the Rangers. Here comes the next pitch to Pena, the 1-0. In the dirt and outside, it bounces away. Cam Smith is going to make it to third. Heck yes. The speed of Smith gets him over to third base. He's safe in there. Now we have a runner on third with 2 outs. 2 balls to Pena. Take a look at this. It bounced away just far enough for Cam Smith to have enough time to rush over to third. Two balls, no strikes to Pena. Here's the pitch. That's right in there, a 90-mile-per-hour pitch. Could have been a nice pitch to drive, Pena. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the delivery. Fouled off. Top of the 7th, the Astros already have 1 on the board this inning. They're only down by 1 right now, trying to get that extra run in from third base to tie it up. Pena calls timeout. But anyway, I told you all that stuff about the pandemic because you haven't talked to your friend in years, and then you decide to message him because you want to make sure he's taking a vaccine. Are you serious? That pitch is just a little outside. Woo, that was close. Ball 3. The crowd boos, but man, it was outside by at least an inch. Can't boo about that. 3 balls, no strikes to Pena. Here comes the toss. In the dirt, ball 4. Pena gets a walk. We have runners on the corners. I think here they could send Pena. They could get him to steal second, and we'd have 2 runners in scoring position. Altuve comes to the plate, guys. My hero. The hitting coach is going to come out and have a little chit-chat with the pitcher. What is this pitcher's name again? This guy. Sean Armstrong, is that right? Yeah, Sean Armstrong. Let's see if I've got him in my folder. No, I do not. I'm going to have to save his image. Save image as Sean Armstrong. Altuve comes to the plate. Mix of boos and cheers for Altuve, as typical in Arlington. Here we go. Big man at the plate right now. Runners on the corners. Astros down by 1 in the 7th. First pitch on the way from Armstrong. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Outside, good take. Ball 1. Too many likes, blowing Apple TV up. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside. He might not want to pitch to Altuve. They might have told him just pitch around him. Don't give him anything he can really hit. 2 balls and no strikes. I wouldn't doubt it. Don't pitch to him. Just pitch to Paredes. But why would you want to pitch to Paredes with bases loaded? I don't understand that. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Altuve. That's in there, low and outside, but in the corner for strike 1. 93-mile-per-hour toss. 2-1. Come on, my man. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Low and in the dirt. Good take. Three balls and 1 strike to Jose Altuve. Is it going to be bases loaded with a walk, or is he going to do something here? Armstrong steps off the rubber for a second, resets the pitch clock. He keeps messing around with the dirt on the mound. Now they're going to have a little meeting on the mound. Man, they are really spending a lot of time talking about Altuve right now and what to do. They're trying to figure out how to deal with him right now. At any moment, this is the guy. He's Mr. Clutch. He can do it. If anybody can do it, he's the guy. It doesn't matter how cold he's been. He's still Jose Altuve. 3 balls and 1 strike to Altuve with the runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Armstrong. Outside, ball 4. Good at bat by Altuve. He doesn't swing at the garbage. Bases loaded for Isaac Paredes. Rangers have another guy warming up in the bullpen. I wonder if they're going to bring him in for Paredes or not. We're going to see. Bases loaded with 2 outs, guys. If ever we needed a grand slam and turn things around for the Astros hitting right now, it's right now. And he has 2 home runs recently. He didn't get one yesterday, but he had 2 in back-to-back games within 3 at-bats. Umpire calls timeout right now. He says the catcher called timeout. They're going to consider that a disengagement. Resets the shot clock, the pitch clock. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. Hey, walk it or run, and then get a grand slam. It's fine by me, whatever. Whatever works for you, as long as the Astros take the lead right here. 1-0 to Isaac the ball Paredes. 1-0 pitch. Almost on the way. Here it comes. Right in there, 91 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. 1-1 is the count. Paredes calls timeout. He wants a little more time to decide how he wants to go about destroying the Rangers this time. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded. Here is the pitch. Way high. Almost got him in the chin there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Take a look at this. Too close. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Paredes. Paredes hits it on the right side. It's through. It's going to score at least 1 run. That's right. Pena comes around third. He's going to score 2. The Astros take the lead. Heck yes. Paredes comes through with the opposite field hit. 3-2 Astros. Take that, Arlington. Take that. Take that to the bank and cash it, sir. 3-2. Finally. Thank goodness gracious. Right through the right side. Pena on second base scores no problem. Pena in from second. Cam Smith in from third. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Fouls the first pitch off. Strike one. We've got runners on first and second. I thought we had runners on the corners, but they're on first and second. 0-1 to Walker. This inning isn't over yet. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Ball. Good take by Walker. Yeah, Altuve being smart. Yes. He did his job. He didn't swing at the garbage. 1-1. He didn't try to force it and make something happen, right? Hit hard to left field. It might be gone. It's all the way out of the wall. Yes, it is. Walker with a 3-run shot. Christian Walker destroys it out to left field. And just like that, the Astros are up 6-2. Look at the Rangers. They're like, oh my God, are you serious? Oh my goodness gracious. 6-2. Finally, the Astros blow it up. Yeah, and that's it. The coach is coming out to the mound as the Astros celebrates. Finally, they unload some runs. Isaac Paredes with the opposite field hit. Christian Walker, one of the most ice-cold guys on the team right now, comes through with a big 3-run shot to give the Astros the 4-run lead. How do you like them apples? Let's clear the bases. Heck yes. Let's take a look at the chat. They are switching out. They've got some new guy coming in, some new pitcher, some new relief pitcher coming in. So we're going to take a break to look at the live chat and see what's going on, guys. I can get caught up now with what you're saying. Let's see. It's all because Altuve was smart. Those runs, Altuve smart runs. Absolutely, I agree. Seawalk going big. Yeah, without Altuve, nothing. Yes, that's right. Think about that. Altuve's patience at the plate and not going after the garbage loaded the bases and with 2 outs and kept it going. Without that, this wouldn't have happened. Altuve gave Walker the shot. Yes, he did. That's exactly what those first couple of guys are supposed to do. Pena and Altuve, they're supposed to get on base. And guys like Paredes and Walker, they're supposed to drive them in with those big hits. And they freaking did it, man. They both did it. Paredes with 2 RBIs. Walker with 3 RBIs. 5 runs and 2 hits. Can you believe that? When Altuve got on, I knew. Yeah, I just had the feeling they didn't need a big hit. You know, it was just an opposite field single from Paredes. But when you've got Pena on second and Cam Smith on third, a single scores them both. And then Walker comes up and he's kind of like, well, why don't I just hit it out and score everybody? 5 runs in just 2 at-bats. That's crazy. Here's that home run again by Walker. Just nice, smooth swing. Boom. About 10 rows up. The Batman Victor Caratini is up. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. No runners on base right now. 1-0 with 2 outs. Wynn is on the mound for the Rangers. Here comes the next pitch. This one's hit hard. Caratini goes all the way to the wall. He might have himself a double. Is he going to be able to get there? No, he stops at first. He ripped it too hard. The Batman gets on base. Heck yeah, it's not over yet. The Astros say, hey, wait a second. We're not finished. You think we're finished? Not yet. The Batman on first base with a rip to right field. Man, that was great. Keep it going. Can you imagine this? 2 outs, and the Astros just getting run after run after run after run after run. Next batter is Yiner. Yawner Diaz. That pitch is high for ball one. Here comes the next pitch. Strike. 1-1. Hey, didn't I say at the beginning of this inning it would be cool if Diaz bats again, if everybody gets a chance to bat, and then Yiner bats again? Didn't I say that? And now it's come true. Here he is batting again. Little high and inside, ball two. I can't believe that came true. Caesar, welcome back. Geaux Stros indeed. After last game, we had to have this, says Jordan. Jordan, thanks, Altuve not swinging at crap. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Foul tipped at the plate, strike two, and that's 2-2 on Diaz. Man, yeah, we definitely needed this. The fans needed this. The players needed this. Even though Altuve didn't get a hit, that's got to be a big boost for him and the team, especially his confidence, because he got up there and he didn't swing at crap. He made the pitcher pitch, and he got the walk that set up the runs. Way outside. Ball three, full count. Three balls, two strikes, two outs. Caratini on first. Diaz at the plate. Here comes the full count pitch. He hits that one through the left side. We got ourselves another hit. The hits just keep coming. It's just like a really popular band. The latest popular band. The hits keep coming, guys. Can't stop the Stros right now. Two outs, who cares? Myers up for the second time this inning. Six to two. All the runs in this inning have been scored with two outs. Swing and a foul ball by Jake Myers, and that's strike number one. Every single run scored for the Astros this inning with two outs. That's nuts. Now they have runners on first and second with another opportunity to score more. They can do it. Here's the pitch to Myers. Way high. 1-1. What a game for the Strizos. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. A little far inside. Ball 2. Yeah, make them pitch. Don't swing at that crap. You make them pitch you. Pitch you some strikes. Pitch you some good pitches. Don't swing at that garbage. 2 balls, 1 strike to Myers. 2 runners on. Here's the pitch. Here he hits it through. Is it going to get through? No. Almost. Good catch by the shortstop. That was almost through. Is that Simeon? A short hop. But not before the Astros put 6 freaking runs on the board. How do you like that? What an inning. What an inning. Astros were down 2-0, and now they're up 6-2. 8 hits in total now for the Astros. 6 hits that inning. Couple of walks. Completely owned the Rangers in that inning. Knocked out a couple of relievers, not just one. They knocked out a couple of different guys. How do you like them apples? Yes, that's right. Bottom of the 7th coming up. 6-2 over the Rangers in Arlington. Take a look at the live chat right quick and see if I'm missing anything. Jordan says, when Altuve was being selective, I knew he would win. Altuve knew it too. Okay, save some for tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Save some of these runs for tomorrow. Let's get enough to win today, and then score more tomorrow. All the runs I credit to Altuve, says Jordan. because there would be nothing if he was chasing with 2 outs. That's right. Here's the thing, and this is exactly what you're saying, is that sometimes Altuve, when he gets up to bat, it's like he feels the really strong emotion to make something happen, to try to force it. But actually, in life, in everything, we should never try forcing anything. We have to relax. And we have to allow things to play out. And that's when we can accomplish the greatest things. And that's the way I look at Altuve's at bat. He wasn't trying to force anything. He was not going to chase and try to get the balls out of the zone and try to force something to happen. Speaking of Altuve, a little bit of nice slow motion action there. He literally just relaxed and was very calm, and he took what they gave him, and he walked. And because of that, we had bases loaded. Paredes got a 2-run RBI. Then Christian Walker with a 3-run homer. That never would have happened if Altuve had been trying to force something. So absolutely, you're right. Oh, I just realized that I'm logged into my live chat on my wrong channel. How did that happen? That's crazy. I looked at my poll just now. It says, what should my end of May sub goal be? 55% say 400. I'm hoping for 500. That's what I'm hoping for. But if it gets to 400, okay. But I'd really want to get to 500. Since I'm going to be doing every game, that's what I really hope to get to. Brian King, Mr. Magnum PI, is in the game. He's the man. I really like Brian King. All right, guys. Bottom of the 8th. Here's the first pitch, right in the top of the zone. King starts off with a strike. Jake Burger is at the plate. 0-1 is the count to Mr. Burger. He was the only RBI guy yesterday. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off. 0-2. Jordan says, I once failed a very expensive test. There were no redos at all, but the teacher knew I knew it inside and out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High. Ball 1. 1-2 for Mr. King. One and two pitch. Burger grounds it over to the left side, and it's going to go just foul. Paredes scoops it up. Man, that was almost an infield hit. Good play there, letting it roll. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes to Burger. No outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody on. Here's the 1-2 to Burger. Swing and a miss? Nope, he fouled it off. Count remains 1-2. Jordan says he told me I could take the test again if I promise to study and have fun. Oh, promise not to study and have fun. Really? Not to study. Don't study, have fun. That's interesting. Burger fouls the next pitch off. The count remains 1-2. Here comes the next pitch from King. Did he check swing and did he go around? Yes, he did. They say, hey, man, that's a strikeout. So King slices up the burger for a strikeout. Yeah, just barely went around there. It was close. There's the next pitch from King. He's now facing Jonah Heim, a little high, ball 1. 1-0, here's the pitch. Grounded hard to third, picked up by Paredes, no problem. He fires over to first. Man, he makes it look so easy. Best third baseman in baseball for defense right now. 2 away. Magnum PI, got it going on so far. First pitch to the next batter. On the way. Hits straight up in the air. This looks like it's going to be out number 3 already. That's great. Altuve's under it, puts it away. Heck yeah, he tosses it to Pena. And it's done. Great outing, as usual, for Brian King. He's my man. He's my favorite reliever. Mr. Magnum PI. Good old Magnum PI. Astros winning 6-2 in Arlington, kicking some butt right now. Jordan says, I aced it. What a great teacher. He knew that I knew the subject as well as anyone. It's like you were saying that you have to relax. That's exactly right. You know, there's something that I can tell you. I won't go into too much detail because if I tell you the detail, it's a little gruesome. By the way, we're on commercial break, so there's nothing going on at the moment. We're going into the top of the 8th. I guess I can go and change the information on the screen. Or is this the top of the 9th? What am I doing here? Yeah, top of the 8th. I was right. I'm lost. I'm totally lost. Reset. Okay, we're good to go. But Jordan, basically, here's what happened. You know, because of the cancer tumor that I have, it causes clots and, you know, various issues in my body. And at one point, after doing some fasting and stuff, a lot of the, I guess the old clots that kind of got stuck in there, they started getting flushed out. But the problem is, those clots become very large, and they do not come out easily. Okay, and they come out through your pee, right? So when you go to the toilet to pee, that's when they need to come out. But you're talking about things that are so big that they just can't come out. They get stuck in your bladder. So you have to use catheters on yourself to get them to come out. If you don't have catheters at home, then you have to go to the hospital. And because there were so many clots coming out, it was just literally days and days and days and days. I'm not kidding. I would say maybe at least 10 days. Every single time I had to go to the toilet, I had to use a catheter. Think about that. That's multiple times a day, every day for like 10 days. And some of them were just so big, it's like they were stuck and I couldn't get them out. And I finally was just like, you know, I think I'm trying too hard to get them out. And I just decided to focus on relaxing. And right after that, they just started coming out so much easier. Because I was being tense, you know. DeCenzo is at the plate. The first pitch is fouled off the catcher. He looks a little shaken up. He's taking a little moment to gather himself. 0-1 is the count. But it's exactly what you just said and what I mentioned before. You've really got to relax. Here's that foul ball. Yeah, I got him right on the inside. Yeah, that's painful. Oh, right on the leg. Okay. Next pitch is on the outside edge for strike 2. Nice toss. 0-2 is the count. DeCenzo. Will the Astros tack on some more runs? Let's see. That's hit out to right field and into the stands. 0-2 is the count, and here comes the pitch. Low. Ball 1. I think these commentators are trying to say that DeCinzo's name is pronounced DeCinzo. Zach DeCinzo. It could be. I don't know for sure, but okay. Here's a 1-2 count. Pitch. Swing and a miss. DeCinzo goes down. DeCinzo strikes out. 1 away. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Let's see if he can do some more damage. He takes that first pitch in the upper part of the zone, a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, strike 1. Caesar says, I like that go. How about cooked the burger? Did you guys see my short? Are you watching? I forgot to ask you about that. That's a swing and a miss for Cam Smith, strike 2. Have any of you seen my shorts? Because I've been making game recaps, short game recaps, anime style. Have you had a chance to watch any of those? Because I made a joke about burger in that last one. What about cherry juice? Anything about that? Cherry juice. Ball 1 to Cam Smith. Cherry juice. What do you mean about cherry juice? I'm kind of lost on that one. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Right down the third baseline, just barely foul. Going to have another 1-2 pitch. I've heard about cranberry juice, you know, kind of helping lubricate the kidneys and stuff, but that doesn't help me. Once you already have a tumor on your kidney, that, you know, cranberry juice doesn't help. That's sugar. That's the opposite of help, actually. 96 miles per hour, up and out. Ball 2, the count is even. Yeah, you really have to eliminate your sugars when you have a tumor. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one's chopped foul again. 2-2. How many people do we have in the chat right now are following along? 20? Okay. Almost at 30 likes. Is it already at 30 or not? It's still at 29. That one's in the dirt. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Good at bat. Making this pitcher work. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Smith. He foul. No, that one's not foul. It bounces through. Look at that. Right through the gap between the third baseman and the shortstop. Cam Smith with another hit. Heck yes. 2 for 2 today. Well, not 2 for 2. 2 for 3. 2 for 4. 2 for 4 likely. We got ourselves a base runner. A 1-out base runner with that hit. They're showing all of the Astros injured pitchers. There are like 6 or 7 of them. Here comes the first pitch to Jeremy Pena, who hits it into a possible double play. No, he's safe at first, so that's a fielder's choice. He gets on, but that's 2 away. Smith is thrown out at second. We exchange one fast runner for another. And Jose Altuve comes up again. You know, Altuve had the big walk the last at bat, but I'd really like to see him get a hit. It'd be really nice to see him get the hit. Come on, Tuve. Here comes the first pitch. Top of the zone. Could have gone either way. Strike 1, 95 miles an hour. Oh, 0-1, here's a pitch. Outside, good take. A foot off the plate. Altuve still hasn't swung at anything bad yet. I mean, that first pitch could have gone either way. Two outs, Pena on first. Here's the 1-1 to Altuve, and that one's right in there, and he fouls it off. Good pitch to swing at, 94 miles an hour. One ball, two strikes. That pitch is on the outside. Ball two. Count is even. Another good take by Altuve. So far, looking pretty good the past couple of at-bats. Just need to turn that into a hit. Come on, man. You can do it. I believe in you. You're my man. I've seen you do bigger things than this. You can do it. Pitcher takes a break. He steps off the rubber. Now he's back on. Altuve steps back into the box. We're going to have ourselves 2-ball, 2-strike, 2-out pitch. Here it comes. Hit hard to the left side, just barely foul. That was almost an extra base hit for Altuve. Man, that was close. He strolls back towards first. Look how close this was. Look at that. Woo! So close. Right over the bag. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count remains. Jordan says, I don't have long left, but at least I can say I quit smoking, which I never thought was possible. That's good. Doctor thinks I don't have much longer left, but I tend to disagree. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Another grounder, foul. He's not letting those strikes go by. Wilbite says, speaking of shorts, Colorado just passed a bill that will make them the 30th U.S. state to legalize Keiji Dosha in 2027. Huh? Are you serious? Why in 2027? 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's the pitch. This is hit high into the air. It might be a fly out, and it probably will be. The third baseman is over, and he gets it. Out number 3. The Astros don't get anything, and Altuve, unfortunately, doesn't get a hit. Bottom of the 8th. Coming up in just a moment. Astros up 6-2. Let's get caught up with the live chat comments. Got a few more to look at. Jordan says, cherry juice doesn't allow crystals to form. I'm talking about gout. Ah, gout. Yeah, I don't have gout issues. I just have all of my problems basically are as a result of the tumor and the side effects of the tumor and its pressure on my vein. And the blood clots, the blood flow, and all of those things. So edema, anemia, blood clots, heart palpitations, chest pains, etc. All of that's related to the same thing. Caesar says, your shorts are awesome. Burger holding a burger. Yeah, thank you, Caesar. I appreciate that. Nobody has given me any feedback at all on my shorts. I've been getting maybe on average about 250 views per short, which is not much. But I think it is a good way to help build some attraction to the channel and get more and more viewers. So I'll keep doing them as long as I believe it's useful. I just wish it didn't take so long to make them, even if they're short. It takes way too long to make those things, especially if the game is, if there's a lot of scoring in the game, it makes it harder to do. So it's just too time consuming to make these shorts. Jordan says, which sucks when you said you woke up in the knee all of a sudden. I thought gout, you feel a pain, and it's a bit worse. And after that, everything. Well, yeah, you know, I had a problem with the instep of my foot while I was in Kagoshima visiting a friend, and the doctor thought it was gout. I didn't feel that it was gout. Turns out I was right. I had a new shoe, and I thought that I walked too much, and the combination of those things just hurt my foot, and turned out to not be gout. And after that, maybe it took 3 or 4 days, my foot felt better. And then my knee started hurting a few days ago, and then it too just started feeling better within a few days, and so it's all good. Jordan says you out ain't doing squat. I've been on fire, nothing like gout, but I'm drinking cherry juice. Gotcha. Yeah, I can't have anything with that amount of sugar. Definitely can't do the sugar. Brian Abreu is on the mound for the Astros now. 1-0 pitch. Second pitch is on the way. Hit out to center field. Myers is back right by the warning track, and he puts it away for out number 1. Langford gave it a ride, but Myers puts it away, out number 1. Brian Abreu. First pitch to the next batter on the way. Right in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Who's that lefty taking the strike? That would be Peterson. Jacques Peterson. Here comes the next pitch. That one's in the dirt for ball 1. 1-1. Polish Ninja says, let's go. Yes, let's go. Here comes the next pitch. 1-1. Just barely misses outside. 97 mile per hour fastball. 2-1. Wilby says, I don't know why 2027, but I love mini vehicles. I wish I could afford to live out there. I don't. I'm 6'2". I can't stand mini vehicles. Peterson skies this one to Pena, who's right underneath it, and puts it away for out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Adolis Garcia comes to the plate. They're showing whenever Adolis Garcia got hit by Abreu. And they suspended Abreu the next season. Stupid. Here comes the next pitch. First one to Garcia. He goes straight up in the air. Awesome. Paredes is underneath it. Puts it away. Pena mocks him right behind his back. And Garcia, go to the dugout, man. You go sit down, bro. Six to 2, the Astros going into the top of the 9th. We're 1 inning away from taking this game. Astros fans. Yeah, I actually have a minivan, Wheelbite, here in Japan. I bought a minivan. It's a Nissan Serena. And even with the seat all the way back, it's still not far enough back for me. I need a little more leg room. The K cars, if I didn't spend much time in the K car, like if I just needed to go from here maybe 8 minutes down the road and then back home, and I never had to go any place more than about 10 or 15 minutes away, it wouldn't be a big deal, I think. But being 6'2", the K cars are not fun for me. I don't enjoy them. I mean, they look cute, but I don't want cute. I want spacious. Jordan says, absolutely no sugar. That feeds cancer. Absolutely, 100%. Jordan says, I really wish I could remember what it was that the cancer hate. Well, I will tell you this, Jordan. Cancer itself, cancer cells themselves, they don't need oxygen. This is what makes them so dangerous, because your body has to have oxygen, but cancer cells don't need oxygen. Actually, oxygen is their enemy. They go by basically what do you call it? This very old. What is it called? Fermentation. They go by the process of fermentation. That's how they operate, with fermentation. So you have to attack them a different way. But I have learned that there are 2 main things that cancer cells have to have. One is their main food is sugar. So you can eliminate that and your body doesn't make sugar, right? But the other thing is there's a protein, glutamate. Or is it glutamine? I think it's glutamate. But anyway, there's a protein, an amino acid, that it also uses. Unfortunately, you can't eliminate that. Your body will naturally make it if it needs it. Isaac Perez is at the plate. He takes the first pitch for strike one. 0-1 to Isaac the Ball Perez. Here's the pitch. Grounded to the right side. That should be an easy out. The first baseman and the pitcher there had a little miscommunication, but luckily for them, Paredes isn't the fastest guy to run down the baseline. The pitcher grabbed the ball, but he had no one to flip the ball to. So he had to rush over and tag the base himself. But one away. And Christian Walker, the big man with the homer, the dope, he comes to the plate. First pitch on the way in just a moment. Here comes the toss. A little outside, ball one. So basically, if you're able to do some fasting and exercise and keep your sugar to 0, then you can really put the stress on cancer. Ground ball up the middle. Walker will be out, thrown out at first base for out number 2 here in the 9th. 2 up and 2 down. Victor Caratini's at the plate, takes a swing at the first pitch, fouls it off for strike one. He calls timeout. He wants a little break. I've got something strange going on here. I've got... Oh, I know what it is. It's my phone. There's a live stream going on my phone. A friend of mine who's in Turkey, and I was trying to figure out where's that coming from. I don't have that open on my screen. It's my phone. Next pitch to Caratini is grounded to the right side. The first baseman gets it, throws to the pitcher, and that'll be out number 3. Just like that, 3 up and 3 down. Nothing for the Astros in the 9th, but they keep their lead 6-2. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Wilbite says that Garcia getting hit was his 2023 roid rage year. Yeah, he really was. It's funny because whenever he came off that, he hasn't been the same, has he? Jordan says all it mostly was is that you just don't feed it. Yeah, the thing is, if you can do 2 things, okay, one is no sugar. That's the most important thing. The second thing is if you can add another way of stressing it, like fasting and autophagy or something like that, then you can really do a lot of damage. Do you know about the guy who injects himself and gets bitten by venomous snakes hundreds of times? I haven't specifically heard about that guy. I haven't specifically heard about that guy. It sounds vaguely familiar. Jordan, sounds vaguely familiar. Did I get to 30 likes yet on the live stream? I certainly hope so. Let's see. 32. Heck yes. Thank you guys. Awesome. Very happy to see that. 32 likes without even... I haven't been pushing too hard for it like I usually do. But I do appreciate that because, you know, I think the viewers have not gone over about 30 at one time. Yesterday, peak viewers went up to 43. Many more viewers yesterday than today. But the likes have gone up to over 30. That's excellent. Jordan says, I'm sure I've had cancer many times. I was just young and my immune system's very strong. Well, I Now, I'm not a believer that it has anything to do with your immune system directly, because to me the immune system is just a direct result of what's going on inside your belief system. I don't know if you've followed any of the Neville Goddard spiritual teachings or William Blake or any of these guys, but basically what you believe on the inside is what comes to pass in reality on the outside. So if you start to have cancer or some kind of disease, there's a spiritual reason for it. There's a reason, there's something in your belief system that's causing it. And this is true for everything that happens in your life. So if that's true, then it's not your immune system directly. Your immune system is just another victim of your inner belief. Josh Hader is in the game now, facing Marcus Semien. He fouls it off for strike one. Here comes the next pitch. Right in the low part of the zone. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did, says the first base ump. Crowd gives some light boos, but it's 0-2. Semien only batting 174 this year. Pretty crazy. 0-2 pitch. Way inside. 1-2. But Jordan, you mentioned that, but the thing is, there are a lot of kids who have a really good immune system and they have cancer and are really sick. So that doesn't really explain their situation, right? Strike three. Hader gets the strikeout on Marcus Semien. Look at that. High fastball. Boom. Blew it by him. I knew a guy that was one of the leaders at a church in my hometown. He had a young daughter who was really active and fit and played athletics and everything, and suddenly she had diabetes. Just out of nowhere, just suddenly started having a lot of problems with her, had to take her to the hospital, find out what was wrong, and they were like, oh, she's diabetic. Are you kidding me? She was only like 8 years old, 9 years old or something. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss to Young. Man, Josh Young fouling off the first pitch and then going after that second pitch and not getting anything. Oh and 2 is the count with one out. Next pitch by Hader. Hit high and out of play. Count remains 0 and 2. Hader with the heaters. Josh Hader. Jordan says, I don't know about that other than this is a simulation. Doesn't matter anyway other than that we're here to learn. I don't even believe we're here to learn. I don't even agree with that, because what's the point of learning? If you're part of God, what is there to learn? Now, experience, I can believe that. I can accept that, to experience and remember who we are and what we are. I can agree with that, but to learn, no, not at all. Next pitch is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. My beliefs have changed and modified over the years, and I'm no longer a believer in a lot of religions and belief systems. I've got my own path. Fouled off. Count remains 2 and 2. To Mr. Young. So I absolutely do believe that we are kind of like clothing for God. You know, God comes down and becomes man so that man can experience and remember who he is and become God again. Here we go. And it's out to right field. Should be playable all the way to the wall. I thought it was playable, but it is not. It is gone. It's into the stands. Josh Young with a home run. 6-3 Rangers. Josh Young hangs a 2-ball, 2-strike home run on Josh Hader and draws the Rangers within 3 runs. Hader giving up some more runs to the Rangers. Don't help them out, man. I thought for sure that was going to be playable, but it just kept going and going and going and going and just right over the rail. Come on, Josh Hader. Take some notes from Brian King. Now they're having a little mini meeting on the mound. 1 out, no runners on, 6-3 Astros. Haggerty will be pinch hitting for Carter. One away. Haggerty in the box. First pitch on the way in just a moment. Here it comes. Hit high in the air. Now that one's definitely playable. It's on the infield. Pena comes in, and he's got it for out number 2. 2 away. There's so many different combinations that can do anything. Says Jordan. If people are wondering why did I say that, it was because Jordan said that in the chat. All right, here's the next pitch. 95 right in there. Strike 1 to Jake Berger. The man yesterday is back up at the plate with 2 outs today. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Low and outside. Good pitch by Hader. Nice slider. Or is that a sinker? 0-2 with 2 outs. 1 strike away from getting this win, guys. Here's Hader's pitch to Berger. He looks for the sign, looks for the sign, looks for the sign, looks for the sign. No, no, no. Finally says yes. Comes set. Here's the delivery. And it's bounced to the left side. Foul. Count remains 0-2. Jordan says, I have no choice. I told God, give me a sign. No way can it all be coincidence. I agree with that, but here's something interesting you might want to think about. A sign is not something that happens first and then the results. A sign happens as a result of the belief. That ball is in the air. It's going to be playable. Look at that catch by Altuve. Altuve makes a crazy catch backwards. For out number 3, the Astros win this game 6-3. Excellent game. 3 runs by that man right there on the 3-run homer. Astros put this one way out of reach. Astros put this way out of the reach of the Rangers. Good job there. Heck yes. I'm going to end my poll right quick. All right. Willbite says, good fight, good night, Geaux Stros. Excellent. Thank you, Willbite, for being here. Geaux Stros indeed. As usual, I am going to give you guys a really quick recap of the main scoring points of this game, and then give you a really quick preview of what's coming tomorrow, and then I'm out of here because I got things to do. I got more packing and moving to do. Caleb Ward actually gets the win today because the Astros were down whenever McCullers went out. But here's the scoring. In the bottom of the second, the Rangers got on the board first when Heim singled to right, scoring Young and Carter. 2-0 Rangers. That came at the hands of McCullers. McCullers had a ton of pitches today. He actually had 85 pitches in 4 innings. In the top of the 7th, the Astros finally started getting on the board. Smith doubled to center, scoring Myers. That made it 2-1, Texas. In the same inning, Paredes singled to right field with bases loaded, scoring Pena and Smith. Altuve went to second, giving the Astros the lead 3-2. But it wasn't over. Christian Walker came up the next at bat, the very next batter. Homered to left center field, 410 feet. 6-2 Astros, giving the Astros a 4-run lead. The Astros would give up a solo homer, courtesy of Josh Hader to Josh Young. And that drew the Rangers within 3 runs, 6-3, but that's all they would get. 6 runs for the Astros, 3 for the Rangers. 9 hits for the Stros, just 5 for the Rangers. 1 error on Houston's side, a very rare error. But the Astros put this one in the books, and we tie the series 1-1. Now, let's take a look at tomorrow. Who's on the mound for tomorrow? What do we have going on tomorrow? Well, let's see. Tomorrow's game, I'll be here for tomorrow's game. For me, it's 8:05 in the morning. This game starts about an hour earlier than today's game, so Japan time, I will be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Ronel Blanco is on the mound for the Astros. He's 3-3 right now with a 4.04 ERA. His last game was stellar. Tyler Mahler. His name's spelled like Male, but I think it's Mahler. He'll be on the mound for the Rangers. 4-1 with a .96. I'm sorry, that's his whip. A 1.47 ERA. He's doing quite well right now this season. Having pitched 49 innings, giving up 31 hits, getting 37 strikeouts, and 16 walks. Only 2 home runs. Tomorrow should be a tough game, I think, unless Mahler has a breakdown. If the Astros get to him and just light him up suddenly, it could happen. Astros could blow up this game and then, threaten to take the series. But we'll see. Hopefully they can do that. I really want the Astros to take this series. We need 3 games against this team. This is a big rival in our division. We need to do it. So tomorrow, join me, guys, for Blanco versus Mahler. That's all for today. Astros Houston says 700 plus sub goal. I would love to get to 700 by the end of this month. Thank you to everyone who subbed. Thank you for the comments, the likes, all of that good stuff. Remember that I do have links in my description for donations if you're interested in helping me out. I still do have medical expenses related to blood clot medication, visits to the doctor, and they have to check my blood. They have to check various things. And I still have issues with swelling and have to do some control with compression socks and things like that. So anything that you can do to help me out is appreciated, whether it's likes, subs, donations, whatever. Thank you very, very much. That's all for now. And as usual, the last thing I have to say here is Geaux Stros. And I will see you all tomorrow.